serious about business.
The Business Anatomy, Exploring the Hidden Parts, was this year's theme for the 11th Annual JBDC Small Business Expo and Conference. And as usual, Business Access TV was there to bring you highlights.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the annual JBDC Small Business Expo and Conference. You've already heard, I think several times since this morning, that we are exploring the business anatomy, exploring the hidden parts. Now, the primary function of an expo, this one being no different, is to forge networking opportunities. Is that right? Generally, most of us are in this room for that reason, for our business. Now, as business operators and entrepreneurs, we are in this room with over 50 exhibitors, 500 participants, government, media, and financial partners. I think it is safe to say that we are likely to achieve the networking goal. What do you think?
We want to welcome you 100% this morning to share with you. And I must tell you from the offset that we are very pleased that our minister, this is his second time around in less than 24 hours, Harry. Yes. A big thing that, you know. Hello. Not only is he new, but most ministers don't have that kind of time, even if they want to. But our minister has found the time. And for us, that's a very huge message that he has the MSME sector at his heart, and he's trying very hard behind the scenes to do a lot of things which will be manifested very soon. When you join JBDC, by the way, once you are appointed as permanent staff, we do inject a little madness. So if you see us looking over the top, we put it in the water every morning. If you see us overexcited and so, some of it is because that is working, but also because, as Harry says, at 2 o'clock, we had a team engaged from the organization to make sure that this morning we look as beautiful and organized as we are looking. And I want to publicly thank them on behalf of Harry, myself, and the board for their continued commitment and support to us as we carry out the mandate that we have received from the government of Jamaica. Now, I had a response from a participant today, and big woman like myself, and she said, Miss V, I don't know why I feel like a picnic. This is not my first expo, and I'm just sort of excited, like when a child going to a party. And you know why? Because she has experienced the expo. She knows that the team at JBC ensures that whatever we deliver is relevant to the development of each and every one of you. And today, we're going through the anatomy of the business.
I just want to say that as a new minister on the block in this super ministry, I just want to say, first of all, how inspired I'm feeling by what I've seen over the past few weeks and what I'm participating in today. We had the Expo 2018, and we had the New Village, in which there was a showcasing of so many green shoots. And the emphasis is not on green, don't worry about it. But let's call it new shoots then. But the spirit of initiative and enterprise is alive and well. And I really feel inspired by that. And as your new minister, I want you to know that out of this initiative and enterprise that you're demonstrating, the willingness to take risks, because we've been through a rough patch, you know. When we had the whole financial sector collapse and FinSac and all of that, it led to almost 2 decades of people not wanting to venture into entrepreneurial activity. And I see a sharp, elevated focus on a rekindling of that propensity. And when I look at it, you know, and I give God thanks that my mother taught me to read the Bible, because sometimes when you want to express yourself, you have to go back to the Bible. And I said to myself, look at this. Look at this new spirit of entrepreneurial activity taking place that needs nurturing, needs support. And the JBDC is doing its part. I want to congratulate them for the role that they are playing. And I look at it and I say, my God, you know, in the book of Job says, for there is hope of a tree, if it be cut down, that it will sprout again. And from the tender branch thereof, it shall not cease. You like that? There is hope of a tree, if it be cut down, that it will sprout again. You ever see cut back coffee tree? Other trees, they cut them back and they sprout again. And they get much more productive than before. And so, as I look at this new landscape of opportunity, I'm there now reflecting as a government, what can we do to give you the further support and stimulus that is needed? How can we further enhance the work of JBDC to ensure that they do much more than the 3,000 or so clients that they have now? I want to see that doubled and tripled and quadrupled and moving fast into the tens of thousands. I want to see the day coming when a JBDC is managing 50,000 accounts rather than 3,000. Why? Because if you look at Taxpayer of Jamaica records, yes, the synergy with having known finance, it has its place now, because I've moved from macroeconomic stabilization. Now it's time for microeconomic mobilization. And if you look at the numbers, TAJ tells us there are over 400,000 entrepreneurs in Jamaica. Small businesses, over 400,000 of them registered. And there are a number that are not registered because they are known as being part of the informal economy. So we have a lot of entrepreneurs out there. And one of the first challenges that we face is that in order for us to maximize the support that we need to give to you, we also need your concurrence and agreement to get formal if you're not formal. And there will be trade-offs. There will be benefits to getting formal. Among those benefits to getting formal will be access to finance at reasonable single-digit interest rates. And this is a serious thing, because some of us have come up the path of financing by the wrong route, the expensive route. Some of us have sought to go to, and I'm not attacking my microfinance people, because I helped them along the way when I was minister. But there are certain types of industries like manufacturing, like agro-processing, that you cannot finance it at 30% interest rate. It's not going to work. You're not going to be competitive. You won't be able to begin to even think about targeting the export markets. If you have to develop a product line on which you are paying 25 and 30% interest rate, which is typically what the microfinance people are charging, if not higher. So in exchange for us being able to find the cheaper money for you, part of that requirement must that you must become formal.
About the entrepreneurial way of thinking is that it predisposes you to action. It's about the mind, but it predisposes you to doing something. So if you're learning and you're not doing, it means you're not entrepreneurial. Not right now anyway. But the fact is that success in business is directly correlated. Them going in the same direction. If you have a high entrepreneurial mindset, the possibility of, the likelihood of success is high. They are correlated. If you have the entrepreneurial mindset, the likelihood of you being extremely successful in business is extremely high. So what must you do? One bright, anybody talk to me. If you know that the chances of your being successful is hinged on your developing the entrepreneurial mindset, what must you do? Absolutely, go after it. Go after it like what? Gold. Like is absolute gold, because that is the key to creating the change that we're looking for. Remember now, Jamaicans, we like to use the word jinal, don't we? In jinal. Jinal is really just a patois word for creative, you know? You know? You know? Jinal is a patois word for creative. Jamaicans are some of the most creative people. That's why we have so much scammers. Because these are creative people who have not been taught how to harness that creativity and bring it above board. So the onus is on us to hone the natural creativity that lies within this nation. I was in Curacao recently and I heard them talking about Curacao. It's so creative, and I'm saying, no. I've never heard about anything that the world has logged on to from Curacao. Creativity resides in Jamaica, no sir? We are the home of creativity. Creativity is thinking new things. Innovation is doing new things. So it starts with us being creative. The difficulty is that we're not bridging the gap between creativity and innovation. How we do that? How do we get beyond this genialness that we like to talk about? Because it's really creativity. Talking about the entrepreneurial mindset. What is a mindset? It says a set of beliefs or a way of thinking that determines one's behavior, outlook, and mental attitude. Correct? Simple as possible. And therefore, we come back. I was talking about entrepreneur before, entrepreneurship, or entrepreneurial, that word, or the root word being entrepreneur. And I spoke to mindset, and I'm putting them together, and I'm saying, what is the entrepreneurial mindset? Simply, an inclination towards discovering, evaluating, and acting on opportunities. Is that a contrast? Mindset and acting on. And just thinking. Mindset is about thinking, right? Right? It's about thinking. The entrepreneurial mindset, however, is not purely about thinking. It's a mental attitude that predisposes you to action. It's a mental attitude. That is why I keep telling people that the entrepreneurial mindset is not only for entrepreneurs. It is a life principle. It's something to live by.
The Good Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
That you build the satisfaction. Now, enough of you are sell things and not sell the wrong thing. Like somebody tell me earlier, I'm not call a name. She said to me, Mr. Crawford, I sell natural juice. No, you don't sell natural juice. You sell an option for health. Because I don't really want a natural juice. Tell the truth, enough time, things were good for your taste so bad that nobody wanted. But because I don't want that, I will buy it. So therefore, what you're selling to me is long life. In this way. So you really not sell me natural juice. Some people say me I sell craft. You really sell a gift to my friend. I don't really need a craft. I need something for my friend. If I could buy a car, I buy it. It's just that I can't afford no car, so this is an option for my friend. So you have to understand, therefore, that the foundation of what you're doing is a need. Now, if I want to start with that, what is the need? A need is a state of felt deprivation. Not a state of existing deprivation, you know. Because some of us deprive and don't know. If you look in your finger right now, you see some white mark. It means you're short of calcium. Now, enough how you're going to start looking on the finger. Anybody who see the white mark automatically now start to feel deprived. He was deprived, you know, but him never feel deprived. Now that him look and see the white mark now, he must say, we sell milk. He want milk now because he feel deprived of calcium. Are you understanding what I'm saying? No, there's some people who are not deprived, but feel deprived. I mean, sometimes when I feel sad, and there are times where I do feel sad, people really believe that I'm always happy and I always want to take a photograph, including when I'm at the doctor. Say, there the doctor, you're dead, and somebody said, Mr. Crawford, can I take a picture? Like, okay, let's do this, because you know every day is a sale day, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you have to realize this, that sometimes you're there home, sometimes you're in a company and feel lonely. You're not deprived, but you feel deprived. Care for people, them belly full, but them feel hungry. He's not deprived, but him feel deprived. So one of the things in marketing, one of the things in business is to establish a feeling of deprivation. So when you see me now, Mr. Crawford, your lip them look dry, man. You want some beetroot. If you drink beetroot, it's good for dehydration. That now make me start saying, where the beetroot come, I don't want to dry, let me feel deprived. And I go to a place and I say, how much egg you use? You 100 case? You have it dash all the shell. Where you going to put the shell? No, man, I just think up the place. Him start to say, you're nothing. No, man, I just think up the place. Kind of no shell, no rubbish. I mean, I deal with it. Him feel deprived. If you not create a feeling of deprivation, then there can be no sale, because that is the foundation of purchases. A state of felt deprivation. There's a man who say he used to walk and knock on door and sell door. So when me open my door, now you say, yo, you want a door, where you knock on? Where you did knock on? You understand? But suppose when me talk to him, them say, but Mr. Crawford, if I kick this door one time, it will drop off. And I read the door, I sell a security. Then I start saying, you know what kind of door? Iron door, let me talk about it now. Because I start to feel deprived. So a need is a state of felt deprivation. Now, once you establish your product, what is the need that your product can satisfy? Enough people suffer from what you call a myopia, marketing myopia. The perception that a man wants a product. So, like when we have put up our curtain now, because I know Jamaica people every Christmas you have to change a curtain. That's what the thing said. So you have to change a curtain now. And you say, yo, me not have the hole, I want to put in the curtain. Me not have the hole. Me have to go down to hardware and lumber. Them sponsor the thing, because we not get them, if they not sponsor the thing, not get no props. No? All right. You go to the next place. So you go down to this place now. And you say, yo, I want a drill. And the man say, okay, I have this drill, hands-free. No, I don't know if I work hands-free, but it's hands-free. No noise, no dust. Dust consume, it does suck in the dirt and everything. And infrared. Sound like a great drill. But then him come to you and say, yeah, but after 10 million. You just want to put up 2 curtains. You go back here, you have to get a stone, 2 nail, knock in the curtain. If the wall chip out, you close the curtain and cover it. We'll go again. So clearly you never want a drill. You want a hole to put up a curtain. So if me was a carpenter, maybe me buy this drill. Because me make my work easier over the next 50 years. If you only selling a drill, then a man cutting me eye because you suffer from a myopia. You think you're a product. Now, all of us think our product is the greatest product, you know. And not understand what is the deprivation, what is the need that this person has.
So your presentation was about building organizational muscle. Talk to us about that. Just summarize it for us.
Yeah, well, not only the muscle, but what are the hidden parts? You know, sometimes we're building up the arms and the legs, but we're not looking at the core and some other parts that people usually ignore. So what was basically explained to them is that the product is not the total to be consumed. It's a solution that you're offering. So basically, you're going to offer a solution that will create a long-term client that is totally satisfied. And once you focus on that, then you're likely to be a good business person. And a business person is not a person that sell book or sell pen or sell whatever. If one product isn't working, a business product seek profit by offering value, and you can go into other things. So a lot of time we tie ourselves to one business and not realize that if that one is going in the south, there are others opportunity going north. So you can seek those opportunities.
Also, Jamaica is considered to be one of the most entrepreneurial nations in the world, right? But it's not reflected in our economy. What systems do you think that entrepreneurs can put in place to improve productivity, efficiency, and profitability?
Well, what Jamaica have a problem with is that we don't know who we are and what it means. You see, as I explained inside, a lot of persons who are now entrepreneurs were once wage seekers. So people who were once wage seekers are now profit seekers, but we don't have that culture of a profit seeker because we never grew up into it. So my child will benefit from me being a profit seeker, but I didn't benefit from my father. He was a wage seeker. So some of the natural tendencies I didn't grow up with. So things like the business, small business, they now train you into those things that you didn't have. So the more we accept that it is now a spirit or a necessity, and therefore the skills were not natural to us. You know, just like, for example, running a stadium is natural to us because our athletes went to boys' champs and girls' champs throughout them life, and them cousin and everything can tell them what it is. It is not natural to those who were originally wage seekers, and the family set up and your circles and your everything was a wage seeker, and so you now approaching seeking profit as if you're seeking wages, and so we now see the turnover. But if we can train these people who were wage seekers into some of the skills and the competence and the mindsets of profit seekers, you will see where them energies skyrocket, in my opinion.
What are the implications to ignoring legal obligations in our workplace?
Well, let me start out. The law is, everything is the law, and the law is everything, literally. And while it is that the law does not require that you necessarily have a clearly defined legal system in place, the law also tells you that ignorance of the law is no excuse. So it is important for persons to be aware of what the law is, and certainly if you're running a business, you need to understand the particular legal requirements, both as a matter of statute and as a matter of common law that govern your business. In that context, most persons, even if you can easily pick up a statute and read it, you may not necessarily understand how to apply them, how to interpret them, and how it is, more importantly, that the courts have looked at them through the cases. And so for that reason, it is important very often to try to get an attorney in place who can help you and give you proper guidance as to what the law is, how it applies, and how it is to be dealt with in relation to whatever you're doing.
us about your goal being here today at 11th staging.
So at the 11th stage of the JBDC Expo, the Small Business Expo, Yellow has decided to partner with this organization once again because it represents a good opportunity for us to showcase our 3 advertising platforms, our print, online, and mobile, to business owners here. You have quite a few businesses that have been successful at doing their own advertising the way that they have been doing it, so they're feeling comfortable, feeling confident in some of the goals that they themselves have been able to achieve with utilizing things like Instagram, Facebook, or just doing their own referrals. However, we want to help them understand that there are a few more things that you need to put in place in order to cement your place in the minds of potential buyers. And being on a platform or utilizing a platform which has over 1 million subscribers every single day, when they're ready to make a purchase decision, that they're going to consult with this particular platform, be it our print or mobile app or our website, it makes sense because you don't want to miss out on any potential opportunities for growth, for growing your business. In addition to that, we've been given the opportunity as well at this year's expo to speak to the business owners. Right now, Adrian, our digital sales representative, is talking to them about the benefits of digital marketing. Of course, you know, that is our core, part of our core business. We have our print directory, but of course we do offer digital marketing services as well, web design, social media management, we do search engine optimization, SEM, all of those things to help businesses expand their reach. And we're trying to demystify the whole digital marketing space for business owners. People get a little intimidated when they hear digital marketing and they feel like, oh my God, this is a hefty price tag. This is a massive amount to pay. I'm a small business. I'm barely managing my operations, you know. Is this something that I can afford? And the answer we always tell persons is talk to us. Let us know what you are trying to achieve so we can understand your goals and show you how our solutions can help you achieve those goals without breaking the bank.
Tell us a little bit about what CNW Business offers and who's your audience really.
CNW Business offer ICT technologies, and we deal with small, medium enterprise customer. We deal with large customers, hospitality, BPO, and we deal with regional customers as well. But primarily today at this function, our focus is SME and SOHO customers, right? So with our SME customers, we want our SME customers to know more about the different technologies that we're using to enable their business, right? We know that efficiency is a standard problem for a lot of business, right? And what we do is we come in, we do a needs assessment, and we tell that business what sort of ICT technology that you would need to actually grow your business, something that will help you to save in your business, and something that can scale with your organization, right? So our focus is to ensure and make sure that all our SME customers are taken care of from a technology standpoint, right? We are the technology partners. Yes.
All right, so you're also a sponsor here today. Talk to us about the relationship that you have with JBDC.
Well, our relationship with JBDC has spanned for some time now, because you know this is our second time around in terms of sponsoring it. And what we have done today is everybody that you see come in with their phone or their laptops or anything critical, they are able to surf the internet, they are able to do whatever they want because we power the event and they are using our blazing speed internet. The other thing that we also do as well, we came today with a message where we had a thought leadership message, business transformation. So we spoke about business transformation from a system approach as to how we could enhance businesses through technology.
Now we're talking about the intimacy of the law, and I like that sort of thinking. And the reason for that really is that one of the things you start doing when you start talking about business is that in particular you start thinking about the contract, the law of contract. And the law of contract, if I were to leave something with you and nothing else, you bear this in mind. The law of contract includes 3 critical phases. There's the entry, there's the performance, and there's a discharge. Those are the 3 intimate elements of the law of contract. And until you get that story of the contract right, you're going to have a problem. And until you get it as well, that the law, and in particular contract law, is not simply something that you deal with if and when you need to, but until you get to and understand that it is in fact a critical tool of commerce. Without it, you cannot undertake your business. Even if you think you are not abiding the law, that you're not concerned with the law, you have absolutely no way of getting around it. There are tax implications, there are setting up implications, there are banking obligations, there are insurance obligations, and I could go on and on and on. And all of them have a legal input at one level or another.
We do hope you've gathered some valuable information from the highlights of the 11th Annual JBDC Small Business Expo and Conference. Thanks again for tuning in to Business Access TV, serious about business.
Grown from 20 million US to now having 800 million US dollars.
Knowledge, skill, and professionalism. Those are my tools and my armor.
It's a big men don't cry, right? It's a big men don't cry, right?
We were being robbed some $531,000.
I've been angry to the point where I feel like I will get it baby.
Thanks for joining us for another informative edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Theodore Henry. Coming up in this half-hour journey, see what's in the government's $25 billion COVID-19 stimulus package to help citizens pull through the crisis. Plus, measures put in place to protect and care for our seniors throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. Stay with us for these and much more.
To properly carry out a hand rub, apply a palmful of the product in your cupped hand, covering all surfaces. Rub your hands palm to palm. Rub your right palm over the back of your left hand with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Rub your hands palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Rub the back of your fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked. Rotationally rub backwards and forwards the clasped fingers of your right hand in your left palm and vice versa. Once your hands are dry, they are now safe.
The COVID-19 outbreak has placed countries and their citizens across the world under great economic strain and in need of government's interventions. Minister of Finance and the Public Service Dr. Nigel Clark has outlined a $25 billion stimulus package to support Jamaicans throughout this pandemic. Let's find out more.
Yes, there's a national crisis. Yes, we are pulling together. But people have to eat.
As a result, the Andrew Holness administration has announced a raft of measures to keep the economy going despite the COVID-19 pandemic. Watch as Finance Minister Nigel Clark gives a detailed breakdown on the state's $25 billion stimulus package.
The world is facing the most serious disruption to our way of life since the Second World War. This pandemic is nothing like the world has ever experienced before. We need to be prepared for the worst and be ready for a very significant growth setback. As Minister of Finance, I wish to assure the people of Jamaica, Mr. Speaker, that the government will do all we can to ameliorate the effect of this pandemic and to give us the best chance of a speedy recovery. We will be implementing an unprecedented $25 billion fiscal stimulus consisting of a $15 billion tax reduction and tax measures and a $10 billion spending program. Our first goal will be to protect the neediest people from the worst effects of this COVID crisis. We'll be channeling $1.1 billion in additional funding to the Ministry of Labor and Social Security to be used to increase the past cash grants during this period, April to June. Pension payment for June will be automatically made on the basis of the last life certificate on hand without the need for renewal in April, Mr. Speaker. We will allocate an extra $150 million to the Ministry of Local Government to supplement the Poor Relief Program and their budget in general. We will be reallocating expenditure in the MICOF budget to provide $200 million for relief to small farmers. For loans currently in repayment, the Student Loan Bureau will waive late fees for the period April, May, and June. And the Student Loan Bureau, very importantly, will defer the repayment of all loans, principal and interest, for 3 months. We care and help is on the way. We introduced the COVID allocation of resources for employees, the CARE program. We will introduce the Business Employee Support and Transfer of Cash, the Best Cash program, which will provide temporary cash transfers to registered businesses operating in the hotels, tours, and attraction segments of the tourism industry who are licensed based on the number of workers they keep employed who are under the income tax threshold of $1.5 million. We care and help is on the way. To qualify, each tourism business will need to apply for Best Cash by filling out the required form online. They would then file their payroll returns as usual on the 15th of April, the 15th of May, the 15th of June. And for each employee with taxable income that is less than the threshold of 1.5 million that they keep in their employ, the government will transfer funds at a rate of $9,000 per fortnight to that tourism-related business by direct transfer to their bank account, paid monthly, Mr. Speaker. For the months of April, May, and June, Mr. Speaker, that will equate to $54,000 for each employee that they retain. We also understand that employees from industries other than tourism will be laid off. For that reason, Mr. Speaker, we will implement the Supporting Employees with Transfer of Cash, the Set Cash program, which will provide temporary cash transfers to individuals where it can be verified that they lost their employment since the 10th of March. Employees, Mr. Speaker, will be required to apply online, filling out an online application where they'll provide details on themselves and the employment that they lost. We will be working with employers and with the umbrella groups of employers to encourage them to fill out those P45 forms and upload so that their employees can benefit from the CARE Cash Set payment. The unfortunate reality is that the employment status of many Jamaicans is informal. These are challenging cases, Mr. Speaker, but no less deserving. For the drivers on Juta, on Maxi, and JCAL who may not be in the formal system, Mr. Speaker, we will work with the umbrella organizations to see how we can best set up a verification system and how they can be included, Mr. Speaker. For the craft vendors in the various markets, we will work with those who control the venues from which you operate. And for the market vendors, Mr. Speaker, we will work with the municipal authorities who have registration lists. Apart from these categories I've mentioned, there are others. So, Mr. Speaker, what we will be doing is allocating a further $1 billion in additional funding to the Ministry of Labour and Social Security for them to work on this element of the CARE program, Mr. Speaker. We care and help is on the way. In response, Mr. Speaker, to the escalating dislocation that COVID is likely to have, Mr. Speaker, we need to step in with direct support to our small and micro businesses. All small businesses with sales of 50 million or less who file tax returns in the 2019-20 financial year and who file payroll returns indicating that they have employees on staff, Mr. Speaker, will be eligible for a one-time COVID small business grant of $100,000, Mr. Speaker. This intervention, we are budgeting that it will cost $800 million, and the government will make $1.2 billion available in the form of grants to businesses operating, especially small businesses operating in the tourism and related sectors, Mr. Speaker. Up to the 30th of June, Mr. Speaker, Tax Administration Jamaica will facilitate the issuing of one-off or single-use tax compliance certificates to businesses who may fall into non-compliance. Tax Administration Jamaica will issue no new summonses or initiate any new court proceedings or enforcement actions for non-compliance until after the 30th of June. However, Mr. Speaker, reminders and notices will continue to be generated. We care and help is on the way. This is a test of our economic resilience. Yes. And we will eventually come out ahead.
Government has implemented a number of measures to protect the well-being of our seniors 65 and older who are deemed more at risk for more serious complications from COVID-19. Hear more in a recently held digital town hall centered on this group.
Red roses too.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Prime Minister's Digital Town Hall for Senior Citizens. I'm Naomi Francis. Well, the government has implemented several measures to deal with the novel coronavirus or COVID-19. Now, it particularly affects the vulnerable, which is really the senior citizens aged about 65 and older. And so earlier this week, the government implemented several measures that we're going to talk about today.
The present order is for the next 14 days. We will review, as we have been doing, in about 10 days, but we review at every cabinet meetings, and the cabinet meets sometimes twice weekly now, sometimes even 3 times for the week, to review. What is the objective of the review? The objective of the review is to ensure that the increase in cases are more aligned to the flatter curve, and as we keep that alignment, then we will be better able to determine when we are at a manageable peak and then at a reduction, and then we can start to, in an appropriate way, loosen some of the restrictions that are in place. So it's very difficult to set a timeline as to when we would relax restrictions. It all depends on the number of new cases. And what does that depend on? How people in Jamaica behave. In other words, the relaxation of the measures depend on how well we are faithful to the measures, how well we wash our hands, sanitize. If we have to sneeze or cough, we use the appropriate methods, that is, sneeze in your elbow or in a tissue and dispose of it immediately, and then sanitize or wash your hands. Be careful how you touch surfaces. Sanitize surfaces regularly. For persons who are at high risk, the group for which we have kept this town hall, the persons 65 years and over, but we are focused on stay at home for the 75-year-olds and over, that they should, as far as possible, keep out of regular circulation in the population and maintain social distance in all the functions that we do. That is for everyone.
I think one of the things that our older people need to understand, PM, and it builds on what you said, is whereas older people are not at any increased risk per se, they are at increased risk of severe illness. When we look at the statistics coming out of China, and the graph tells it, the case fatality rate for younger people, which does not minimize severity of illness, is below 1% right up to age 59. When you get to 60 to 69, the case fatality in China, which is the number of people dying, is 5%. When you get to 70 to 79, it is 10%. And when you get into the 80 and over age group, it's 18%. So you are perfectly correct that these, if our older people get COVID-19, the severity of their illness is going to not only take up hospital beds, but it's going to deprive our families and our communities of an elder person of that wisdom, of that child care taker. So it is an important loss to the community in general. Now, the reason for all of this is that if older people come in contact with the virus, and that's the critical point of what you're doing, what the government is doing, what all of us are preaching, they must not come in contact. In the body, the immune system is less efficient than yours. And not only that, the cells in the body are also diminished. So once they get this infection, the likelihood of it ravishing their body is high.
From the OPM, Ask OPM email Prime Minister, Ms. Trudy May asks, should persons who live in households with seniors leave the home for their protection?
That's not what the government is saying. Of course, that is up to you if you want to go to that extreme. But what the government is saying is that you should take extra precaution in ensuring that you have in place measures for the sanitization of your hands and surfaces, that where possible, when you come home from work, you go through with these procedures, that as far as possible, you ensure that your seniors don't have to go outside, and you maintain, as much as you can, social distancing.
I have one specifically for you, Doc. My mom, Miss Jillian Dawkins, asks, my mom is 84 years old. She's a cancer survivor. She has a clinic appointment next week. What does that mean? Can she go? Can't she go?
Absolutely, yes. She can go to her next appointment. What we encourage is dialogue with her healthcare facilities so that she can get there safely in a sterile environment and back home again. So yes, once she maintains dialogue with her hospital team or parish health facility team, she can in fact go to her appointments.
Just to point out that the Ministry of Health has said that they will put in place a scheduling regime.
Absolutely.
To ensure that there are specific times to treat with the appointments that are non-COVID related.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Mr. Prime Minister, for that. Let's get the ministers involved as well, because ministers, the Prime Minister introduced the order yesterday concerning what will happen, especially to our senior citizens. One of the questions we have concerned NIS benefits, and there was another one as well concerning visits to the homes for the indigent. Let me ask Minister Mackenzie to respond to that one first.
Well, it's good to be a part of this very valuable and worthwhile discussion. We have put in restrictions on visits to the infirmaries because our infirmaries, we have 17 such facilities across the country with a population of close to 2,300, with 90% of the residents in these facilities falling in that category that we consider to be vulnerable, that age group that would be prone to the disease once it gets in. So we have put in that restriction, and we are enforcing that restriction because we want to be sure that persons who are accessing the facility do so in an organized fashion. One of the things that we have done also is we're working closely with the Ministry of Health in establishing the kind of screening mechanism, not just for those who are going to be visiting the infirmary, but also for persons who are working in the infirmary. So someone take the bus, has to move amongst other persons, come in. We are saying those days are over. We are providing the necessary equipment. So you come, change clothes, put on your working clothes, you go through a process of sanitization, and then you start to deal with the residents in the infirmary. So we are restricting visits to the facility, and over the next 60 days, we are not accepting any new residents into the facility.
Will there be special provisions for pensioners? What about those with NIS?
The payments coming out of NIS, once you qualify for the pension, of course it is based on a number of factors. Yeah, it's an actuarial fact computation that would have been based on earnings, the contributions at the time. So it is difficult for us at this time to say that we are going to increase the NIS benefits having regards to the factors that would have gone into the determination of what that payment is. But what we can say is that for persons who receive payments by way of the payment voucher, effective March 30th, all payments for the month of April can be encashed at once. The Ministry of Labor and Social Security is the lead on the National Relief Response Program. And in circumstances like you would have had in 7 Miles, Bull Bay, and even in Clarendon, we take the lead as a ministry in terms of coordinating the relief response. What I will say is that so far as a government, there have been in excess of 2,000 care packages that have been distributed. In terms of sanitation packages, we have distributed in excess of 1,800, water, juices, and in fact, this is a convenient time for us to say thanks to our corporate partners. I'll refer to them as corporate partners for now.
If you have someone who is at home or under your care that is an elderly person who is physically challenged, and you are not able to support that person, then the various local offices of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security and the local offices or officers of the Poor Relief Department, which is usually centered around the municipal corporations, reach out to them. At this time, they have a duty and they will be empowered to respond. I want to clarify the stay-at-home order. Stay at home is the headline, meaning that's what I want you to hear and know. However, you are allowed to leave your home to conduct what we call the essentials of life. So if you have to get your medicine, if you have to get food at the market, if you have to get water, some people still have to do that, and exercise. You want to do a little walk around your yard, walk down to the end of the street and back if you can avoid that. Those things are quite fine. What we wouldn't want you to be doing at this time is to be unnecessarily exposing yourself to the public. And there's a reason for that, which we'll get into later, and that is we are now transitioning into a phase of the epidemic which is described as community spread. That means that the virus is now in the community. It's not fenced in clusters, it's generally in the community. So the risk of you getting it is increased, and of course the risk of you dying from it is even greater. So we want you to, as much as possible, follow the order of the government, which is to stay in, but you are allowed to conduct once per day the essentials of life.
I have Melinda who's asking, hello, I have a diabetic amputated mother. That's how she writes it. She needs to go to the clinic 2 times a week to have her wounds dressed. Only means of transport is taxi. With a virus, she's not safe to leave the house. Is there going to be free mobile nurses to go around to help non-mobile elderly persons?
If it is that she needs help with getting to a healthcare facility to be dressed, then she can certainly call the helplines. We have them up and running 24 hours a day to provide that ambulance assistance to get them to the clinic. So I really don't see any reason why she cannot go to her clinics to get her twice weekly dressings. Obviously, when I get back into office, I will speak with the Chief Medical Officer to discuss these sort of variables in the system.
Anyone who is in this age group that has a situation that would lead to distress, now is the time to reach out, as you have said, to the Ministry of Health, but you also, the duty lies with the Ministry of Labour and Social Security and the poor relief, which ties in to the municipal councils. So once you reach out to those agencies, they are all empowered to be able to respond to these specific circumstances.
Trees of green, red roses too.
The National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, wishes to advise the public that the Mandela Park in St. Andrew is closed. This is in adherence with government's restrictions on gatherings in public spaces. The halfway tree-based park will be closed until further notice. The NSWMA will continue to closely monitor the announcements of the Ministry of Health and Wellness to make decisions in the best interest of the citizens of Jamaica.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness has repeatedly shared that COVID-19, though a serious disease, is not a death sentence, and so it's important that we treat each other with care and respect and follow the information shared by the government to safeguard our individual health and the rest of society.
Scientists and doctors globally are learning lessons from the negatives and taking comfort in this positive. Far more persons are recovered from the novel coronavirus than those who have died. That leads to one hypothesis: the coronavirus disease 2019 is not a death sentence. Globally, we have heard that thousands of COVID-19 patients have recovered from the virus and a smaller number have died. Unfortunately, on Wednesday, March 18, Jamaica recorded its first COVID-19 related death. The good news, though, is that a few of the patients confirmed with the virus are showing signs of improvement. The United States Embassy in Kingston has reported that patient 2, an employee of the organization, is recovering well. Positive signs for the country, which has recorded double figures of confirmed cases.
For the 14 persons that are under treatment, now we have 13 persons that are stable and are doing well. 3 are totally asymptomatic now, and we will start their discharge testing shortly.
They're actually doing quite well. As a matter of fact, the early patients looked quite well. They're eating, they're smiling. Of course, there's a tension of this new thing, but they're not incapacitated, right? We have some new cases now. I can't comment on those just yet, but certainly the earlier cases that we had who are still with us, they look like you and me. Most persons will recover. Probably over 80% of persons will probably have a relatively mild illness. But there are persons that, for whatever reason, who will get a more serious infection. So persons over 60 tend to have a worse outcome, and persons with what we call comorbid factors, so persons who are hypertensive or diabetic or even asthmatic, tend to have a worse outcome. But that doesn't mean that everybody who has that will, die.
It cannot be overstated.
COVID-19 is the name that they have finally decided on for the name of the disease. So that's coronavirus disease 19 for 2019. And the name of the virus that is causing that is now named SARS-CoV-2. So it's that new that persons had to deliberate for a while to say, what are we going to call this new virus? And what are we going to call this new disease?
Is it airborne?
In recent times, there are persons who are querying the possibility of airborne, but that would not be the primary method of transmission. It's just that we should now begin to think that it could be airborne.
Just to recap, remember, contracted COVID-19 is not a death sentence. Just call the Ministry of Health and Wellness if you see signs or have symptoms related to the virus. Do not proceed to your private doctor or a health facility.
We've come to the end of our half-hour journey, but be sure to come right here tomorrow for another informative edition of Jamaica Magazine. Until then, continue to watch these and other programs by logging on to our website. That's at www.jis.gov.jm or subscribing to our YouTube channel. You may also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry, reminding you to practice proper hygiene and social distancing as you protect yourself from COVID-19. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
I started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got.
Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look. But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is okay.
We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
It's been said that Portland is one of Jamaica's last remaining unspoiled cities, and that its capital, Port Antonio, was the birthplace of our country's tourism, hosting many world-famous adventure seekers. Well, on this episode of Chill Spot, we'll be doing a bit of exploring with Jordanka Akwanza, co-founder and COO of Island Eyewear. She'll be taking us to Great Huts in Portland. It's a charming resort overlooking Boston Bay and the Caribbean Sea. Stay with us.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Jordanka.
Hi, Candy. Nice to meet you. This is my husband, Keith.
Hi, nice to meet you. So tell us, what are we going to be doing today?
I want to show you the amazing views that the huts have to offer first. And we're going to have some lunch, enjoy everything that the property has to offer.
Let's go and get this day started.
All right.
this property is so exquisite. It's really beautiful, and that tour was just, it was everything.
It is one of a kind. I really love how they incorporated the accommodations within nature, and nature is entirely undisturbed here.
Very lush, very natural, very beautiful. I like
Yeah.
it. I like it. So we want to talk a little about the professional side of you, of course. Talk to us
Yeah.
about your company, Island Eyewear.
So Island Eyewear was founded in 2004. It's a family business, my husband and myself. Back then we had other directors in the company, but they are no longer with us. So it's been over a year since it's just my husband and I just directing and operating everything with the company. Our vision was to just make Island Eyewear the one-stop for eye care for Jamaicans. We wanted to make it affordable. We wanted to make it accessible for everyone. We wanted to change that mentality about eyeglasses being a luxury item only available for certain people.
Optical. How did you get started in this industry?
Well, actually, it was my husband's master plan.
Right.
He had previous training in the optical field. He is the master of laboratory work.
Right.
So he has a great passion for that. I was introduced to the business once I migrated to Jamaica with him. I was working in one of our stores as the do-it-all everything.
Right.
When you have that one little shop and it's your precious baby.
And you become the Jane of all trades.
Right. So we started based on that passion that he had for eyeglasses. There is a lot that goes into making a pair of eyeglasses that a lot of people don't know. It's like a craft. So he had that passion, and obviously I share any passion my husband have, and it became my passion after. So I was a dancer when I just arrived to Jamaica, and then eyeglasses became my passion, and that fact that I could change somebody's life through sight was unbelievable to me. A lot of times that we don't realize the change that good sight makes on someone's life.
Coming up, what are some of your achievements in the industry so far?
As I mentioned before, we started with that one store.
Right.
Today we have 15
Oh,
stores.
wow.
Dodgen Global offers a CPA scholarship program to team members who join our team. A career in accountancy at Dodgen Global is a great choice and can offer you excellent job prospects. We believe that an accounting education is the greatest gift you can give yourself or anyone else. Few gifts make as significant an impact as the gift of an accountancy education with a job. It's a contribution that lasts a lifetime in the form of learning, opportunity, and success. Join our team and get the opportunity to be part of our CPA scholarship program. This scholarships awards program will be administered by the HR department of Dodgen Global. Requirements: first degree in accounting, employed at Dodgen Global, willing to pursue the CPA examination. Here's how to apply. Submit application to Staff Accountant, Dodgen Global. Email sa@dodgen.com.
Now, what are some of your achievements in the industry so far?
As I mentioned before, we started with that one store.
Right.
Today we have 15
Oh,
stores.
wow.
So that is one of the greatest achievements that I can start with. We have many, but the fact that we have, we had that mission of bringing eye care to everyone, having as many locations as possible was the major achievement that we set out to
And
to
that's
do.
brilliant. Congratulations.
Thank you. And also, we have our Framing Futures campaign where we provide free eyeglasses to children 9, 10, and 11 years of age.
Oh,
So the
that's
fact that
nice.
we can bring eye care to children that don't really have it, make it easier for parents that have to worry about other more important factors like school fees and books and uniforms and lunch money and transportation. So they don't have to worry about the eyeglasses for their child. And the child get that head start on preparing themselves for GSAT exams, which is around that age. So that's one of our other achievements. And also the fact that we have our recycling campaign. So Island Eyewear uses proceeds from our eyeglasses to build recycling bins. Right now we have throughout Kingston, and we are going to be expanding into St. Catherine and other areas in Jamaica where persons can put their plastic bottles, and then we have our processing plant where all of these plastic get compressed and processed. So that's another great achievement that we have.
And also your contribution,
yes,
you know, to the environment.
And our main manufacturing, our main laboratory facility is completely off the grid, so we use solar power.
Oh, lovely.
So anything that has to do with conserving our environment is a great achievement for Island Eyewear. Bringing eye care in an affordable way to everyone is a great achievement for us as well. And we have been able to manage that in the 13 years that we've been operating.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
What would you say the experience has been like for you being a girl boss?
Well, being a girl boss has been crazy. I never thought that I would be in this position of leadership.
Right.
You know, it impressed me every day how many lives I touch on a daily basis, the changes that I'm able to make in people's life. It is very difficult at times. It is very challenging because I am dealing with over 80 employees on a daily basis. It's 15 stores, as I mentioned, and there is always things that pop up during the day. And sometimes it's very difficult to achieve wider goals when you have small things that you have to deal with on a daily basis. But overall, it's amazing. Changing people's lives, I mean, who gets to do that?
Right.
So being a girl boss,
You work with your husband very closely in business. How do you kind of separate the business and the personal?
Well, I am very lucky. I have a background in dancing, and you might feel like, what's the dancing has to do with it? So there's this saying when you are either an actor or a dancer that says the show must go on.
Right.
So I was taught to separate my personal life from my professional life. So whenever there is an issue at home, it has never been reflected in the workplace. So we always keep it professional. We owe it to our team to keep it professional. And it's a plus. I mean, who better than my lifetime, better have partner to do business with. Yeah.
What would you say are some of the challenges you've had to overcome being a young professional?
It's been a little bit challenging to today, 13 years after we started with 15 stores. Island Eyewear is a bootstrap company. We were never able to access any lending companies or anything like that. I think financial companies in Jamaica need to take a look back and see the type of businesses that are coming up and really take their time selecting the type of businesses that they are going to lend a hand to, and the difference that that business can make in the Jamaican society and in the Jamaican culture, and see where we could be if they had lent a hand to those companies that really were looking into making a change into people's life, and it wasn't just here to make some money. Also the fact that I am a female, it can be a little bit challenging at times, even though I don't like to think about myself as, oh my gosh, I'm the girl in the room, or, are they going to listen to me because I'm a girl? Sometimes it's good to go into a room thinking that you're sexless, but you cannot help by other people looking at you in that way. It's something that I have grown out of it with my team, which I have to thank, my goodness, for our team. That is, it was also challenging to put together such a good group of people that share our vision and have our same passion. Unfortunately, Jamaica is not very well equipped with so many options to choose from when it comes to employees, but we were lucky enough to find a very, very, very good of island angels, as I call them, and they're our main support, and without their help we wouldn't be here today.
Now, what sort of impact do you hope to have in the industry?
We would love to see other companies join us in our mission of bringing free eyeglasses to children. A better, more educated Jamaica, they will definitely have a better future. And we have to start with the younger generations.
Absolutely.
So any child 9, 10, and 11, and even if they want to provide for any other age group, it will be great. We also have our recycle initiative, where we're trying to keep Jamaica clean. And we're not just going to the beaches and clean the beaches after the plastic has already arrived and has already damaged our wildlife and our vegetation. We tend to prevent that plastic from making it into the gullies and making it into the oceans. That's where the plastic does the entire damage. And we would love to see more people being more cooperative on recycling in any way possible. As I say, our beams are all out in Kingston and we will be implementing even more. So it will be great to see other companies joining and also Jamaica in a whole being more conscious of our environment, which is very important to us. We are here in this beautiful place. We have to take a second, take it in and think about what this place will look like if it was just a dumpster, if we didn't have this beautiful ocean and these luscious trees all surrounding us now.
And finally, what would you say are the future plans for Island Eyewear?
Island Eyewear plans is to continue having a positive impact on our community, starting from Jamaica and expanding outwards into the world. We don't want to stop here, we don't want to stop where we are, we will keep on going. And if I'm not here tomorrow, if my husband is not here tomorrow, our team will make sure that our dream and our vision will live on. Our vision of a better, cleaner Jamaica with better sight and a better future.
Oh, that's lovely. Coming up.
Being in a communist country, there's a lot of restrictions when it comes to freedom of speech. That is something that I'm still up today working on, being able to express myself and saying to myself, it's okay to say that. You're not going to suffer the consequences.
The Good Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
Accountants for entrepreneurs. As an entrepreneur, you should be focused on running and financing your business, not sorting your accounting systems and processes. Entrepreneurs are, by nature, dynamic people with a clear vision and a desire to get things done. The challenge for most entrepreneurs is creating a financial and accountancy culture that can keep up with them. That means finding accounting services for entrepreneurs that can provide regular financial updates, a dynamic, forward-looking approach to accounting processes, rapid access to personal and business financial statistics, fast turnaround of taxation and other accounting tasks, qualified advice on financial compliance and regulation, access to potential capital sources. Dodge & Global knows that most entrepreneurial businesses are constantly changing, with a need for accountancy support throughout the financial year, not just when a tax or VAT return is due. As such, we're here to help you make smarter and more effective decisions. For more information and to discuss your requirements with one of our experts, please contact us today. Email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
This is Solomon Sharp, CEO Main Event Entertainment Group. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
So we've had a fabulous day.
Yes, we
Of
have.
course, and we're now joined by your husband. How was your day been?
Been, you know, lovely day.
Enjoying the property.
A lot of rest.
So Jordy, how would you describe yourself?
Well, I am mostly happy. I am a very understanding person. I usually try to put myself in others' shoes before I judge or try to get upset or anything.
Right.
I take my time to try to be relaxed and take in. I love nature. I love style. I love fashion. I have this creative mind that I have to express some way, somehow, whether it's through the glasses that I select or through an outfit that I put together. Otherwise, I get these anxiety attacks that just kill me. And so I'm extremely creative. I love to make things. I enjoy that satisfaction that making something give us, and a lot of us have lost somehow because nowadays everything is already made. So that is something that is definitely a part of me that I have to express daily.
Now, growing up in Cuba,
Yes.
tell us about your childhood.
Cuba is different from everywhere in the world.
Right.
I grew up knowing that everything is this way everywhere except for Cuba. So my childhood was completely different from anybody else's. I lived with my grandmother until I was 9 years old, and then I moved with my mom. And my dad was always traveling, but he always had that influence in me, and a lot of what I am today, I have to thank him and my mom, and also my two grandmothers that had that great influence in me. I went to school. I went to high school. High school in Cuba is just up to 9th grade, which is different from, so it's 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. And then I went to School of Dance there, and as I said before, that formed me as the professional that I am today, and it influences a lot of the things that I use on a daily basis to manage our business and manage our team and motivate people, and also that creative side of me as well. So being in a communist country, there's a lot of restrictions when it comes to freedom of speech. So that is something that I'm still up today working on, being able to express myself and saying to myself, it's okay to say that. You're not going to suffer the consequences. There's freedom of speech on this side of the world. So it was very, very different. Keto.
Excuse me. Hi. Good afternoon. Welcome
Good
to
afternoon.
Bridget.
Thank you.
I understand you like to have lunch with us today?
Yes.
Yes.
Here is our lunch menu. Okay, how was your day being at Great Dots?
It's been wonderful.
Do you like the adventure, the rustic environment?
Yes, that's what we're here for.
I'm glad you like it.
It's very nice.
How long have you been working here?
I've been working here for
2 years. Okay.
And so far I like it.
It's about time.
Yes. I like to meet different kind of people, religions, culture.
So you are from Portland?
Yeah, I'm just right across the street from here.
Oh, not far at all. So how did the two of you meet? Because obviously you're Cuban and then he's Jamaican. So who was where and how did that go?
So he was in Cuba, and he was in the preparations to go into medical school, and I was at the university as part of a dance group at the moment, and we just crossed our ways, and it was like truly love at first sight, because I saw him and I was like, yay!
I got that gut feeling.
So we were both in Cuba when we met.
And then the rest is history.
Yeah, here we are, 15 years after.
So Jordy, do you have any siblings?
No, I'm the only child.
An only child?
I am the only child from my mom and my dad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I am not spoiled at all, I promise. It was very rough growing up as the only child. We have two boys, Zab and Enzo. Zab is 5, Enzo is 4. We had them back to back, and they're just a handful. It's very challenging every day with two boys and the business and everything, and we don't outsource help around the house. We are do-it-yourselfers for everything, housework to the way that we do the business.
No helpers, nothing?
Never had a nanny. We never had a helper. We never had a gardener.
Oh, wow.
So we just do everything. We really, really enjoy, that satisfaction that doing it yourself brings to your life. So, every day to the school and all the activities, and after school I have to pick them up and then finish working with them, and they're just in our lives, and that chance they get to absorb and be around the business on a daily basis is just priceless.
And what else do you guys like to do for fun?
Well, I love the ocean. I love paddleboarding is my main enjoyment. Anything to do with the beach, I love that. And then any other crafts that I can do, like making things, like I make things for my office all the time. I even made my desk. You would see that.
With help.
With help.
I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie. Motorsports, I probably enjoy surfing more than paddleboarding.
Right. So Jordy, what advice would you have given to your younger self?
Be more confident, believe in yourself more, and speak up, because that's one of the things that I carry with myself from Cuba, the fact that you hold back everything, and that is something that will hold you back in life as well.
Well guys, thank you so much for a great day at Great Huts. And the food, of course, was delicious.
It was amazing. The presentation was incredible, and it tasted delicious.
It was really good.
I had a very good time, and it was very nice to meet you. And I always watch the show because I want to know where to go next.
Oh, that's so nice. We really appreciate it. And now your feature has come, and it was awesome. I enjoyed every single activity and all the things that we got to do and exploring this beautiful property,
really
of course.
good.
So thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
And that's where we'll have to leave things for this episode of Chill Spot. Remember, you can check out past episodes on BATVJA.com. Until next time, I'm Candy. Bye.
I have two boys. Just go to La Mata over there, to La Mata there. Come on, TV.
I asked your husband then. How would you describe her?
Well, I'm in this.
On this episode of Chill Spot, we'll be doing a bit of exploring with Jordanka Akwanza.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Take the guesswork out of improving your IT infrastructure. The field of IT changes so quickly that it can be hard to plan a strategy while keeping up with technological advancements. Yet, without a strategic roadmap built on data-driven insights, your staff can be overworked, spending excessive time putting out technical fires instead of focusing on strategic tasks that fulfill core business needs. Our IT consulting services are the first step towards transforming your enterprise IT and improving your business efficiency. Our experts have the industry experience and best-in-class tools to methodically assess your entire support operation. We look at your IT support services holistically, identifying improvement areas that will have the greatest impact on employee productivity, service levels, and customer satisfaction. Need help improving your infrastructure uptime? Contact us to discuss a solution that will provide you greater productivity and efficiency. Email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
CARICOM News Time is brought to you by Dodgen Global.
CARICOM high-level team deployed to assist Guyana in resolving election challenges.
Governments take unprecedented steps to keep citizens safe from COVID-19.
And the CARICOM Secretariat establishes COVID-19 task force. These and other stories are in the CARICOM News Time for the period March 6th to 17th. I am Tusankin English Francis.
And I am Michelle Nurse. Thank you for joining us. Several CARICOM countries have recorded the presence of the coronavirus in their jurisdictions.
The government of Jamaica is prepared to deal with the occurrence of the novel coronavirus COVID-19 in Jamaica.
It is my sad duty to announce that Guyana confirmed its first imported case of coronavirus disease 2019, otherwise known as COVID-19, in Georgetown on Wednesday, 11th of March 2020.
We received confirmation earlier today that St. Vincent and the Grenadines has recorded its first case of COVID-19. It is what is described in the literature as an imported case.
2:45 today, we got confirmation of our first case of coronavirus from CARICOM.
As of noon on the 17th of March, Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, the Bahamas, the Cayman Islands, Guyana, Jamaica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Trinidad and Tobago, and Suriname had confirmed cases of the virus. Governments are instituting unprecedented measures to keep their citizens safe. The measures include closing schools and imposing travel restrictions to and from countries that are worst affected by COVID-19. Several member states have announced that their borders will be locked down to outsiders for the next 14 days. Only nationals will be allowed entry into those countries.
Trinidad and Tobago will cease to encourage and facilitate for the next 14 days entry into our country except under exceptional circumstances, the entry of persons who are not nationals of Trinidad and Tobago. Exemptions can be had to that, as we must, but those exemptions will come from the Minister of Health through the Minister of National Security. For example, our CARICOM workers, health personnel, and similar essential persons who we need would have to come in, and therefore such persons would be exempt.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness of Jamaica has declared all of Jamaica a disaster area amid the coronavirus. As of the 16th of March, Jamaica had the highest number of cases in the CARICOM region. The government has quarantined the communities of 7 and 8 Miles in Bull Bay, St. Andrew, in an effort to stop what is now effectively a local spread of the virus.
The government has been very proactive in securing the health of the nation by instituting travel restrictions, quarantine protocols, and informing the public. We have also identified and invested in preparing additional spaces for quarantine and isolation. The Ministry of Health has been fully mobilized, and our technical and professional experts and technocrats have been sensitized. I have every confidence in our medical professionals, our public health officials, and our administrators in managing the situation.
The first recorded cases in the affected CARICOM member states were imported from COVID-19 hotspots in Europe and North America, except for the Bahamas, where the patient had no travel history within the past 20 days. The virus that has killed more than 6,000 people worldwide has so far recorded 1 death in CARICOM. The first person who tested positive for COVID-19 in Guyana died on Wednesday, the 11th of March, the same day the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a global pandemic.
The alarming levels of spread and severity, and by the alarming levels of inaction. We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic. Pandemic is not a word to use lightly or carelessly. It's a word that, if misused, can cause unreasonable fear or unjustified acceptance that the fight is over, leading to unnecessary suffering and death. Describing the situation as a pandemic does not change WHO's assessment of the threat posed by the virus. It doesn't change what WHO is doing, and it doesn't change what countries should do. We have never been before seen a pandemic sparked by a coronavirus. This is the first pandemic caused by a coronavirus. And we have never before seen a pandemic that can be controlled at the same time. WHO has been in full response mode since we were notified of the first cases. And we have called every day for countries to take urgent and aggressive action. We have rung the alarm bell loud and clear.
St. Kitts and Nevis is among the several other CARICOM member states which so far have not recorded the novel coronavirus. The Timothy Harris government is, however, taking all precautions, asking persons in coronavirus hotspots not to travel to the island at this time. Persons who do travel to St. Kitts and Nevis from those destinations will be subject to a mandatory 14-day quarantine period confined to a designated facility. CARICOM governments are advising against social, religious, and sport gatherings.
The Secretary General is heading a COVID-19 task force he established to lead the response as the situation evolves. The task force, which includes public health, management, and communication specialists, will coordinate the Secretariat's implementation of measures to minimize the transmission of COVID-19. All non-essential official travel has been restricted, and as far as possible, meetings will be convened electronically. The Secretariat is also encouraging staff in certain cases to work remotely, as it encourages the method of social distancing to prevent infections. The Secretary General has also encouraged staff to take personal responsibility in minimizing their risk of infection.
COVID-19 has been a concern for the Caribbean community since it first manifested itself in China in December of last year. Initially, the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPHA, which is responsible for conducting these types of assessments in consultation with the World Health Organization and other relevant organizations, determined that the region's risk was low. That risk has since been upgraded to very high, and it has been declared a pandemic by the WHO. Concerns have therefore understandably increased, especially with confirmed cases reported in all our host member states. I want to assure you that staff health and well-being have been and will continue to be the primary focus of the Secretariat's response to this threat. Enhanced sanitation of the work environment is taking place regularly. I want to encourage you all to take all the necessary measures to prevent contracting and spreading the virus. Wash your hands with soap and water or use a sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol. Cover your nose and mouth with a tissue when you cough or sneeze. Dispose of the tissue immediately and wash or sanitize your hands. Sanitize areas you touch often, such as doorknobs and telephones, and wash your hands. Avoid touching your face and wash your hands. I cannot stress enough the importance of washing your hands regularly. Maintain social distance of at least 6 feet from persons, especially those with symptoms such as coughing and sneezing.
A high-level team from the Caribbean community was in Guyana to support a recounting effort of the ballots of the March 2nd general and regional elections. President of Guyana, His Excellency David Granger, requested support from the chairman of CARICOM, the Honorable Mia Motley of Barbados, to field an independent high-level team to support a recount of the ballots cast in the elections. He said this was to satisfy the questions raised by the observers and the citizenry.
In response to the CARICOM initiative by the 5 prime ministers, I agreed that a total national recount could be done to satisfy the questions raised by observers and the citizenry. I had a telecommunications conference with Prime Minister Mia Motley today, 15th of March 2020. I proposed that the CARICOM initiative should operate within the legal framework of the Constitution of Guyana and respect the role of the Elections Commission and the rulings of the Supreme Court.
CARICOM chairman described the CARICOM supported recount as a giant step in being able to determine the will of the Guyanese people in the elections.
It will also allow the electoral process to regain the confidence of all locally, regionally, and internationally. I have spoken directly to both the President and the Leader of the Opposition, and they have committed to abide by the results of a fair and transparent recount of each and every ballot as supervised by the CARICOM team.
While the count was originally scheduled to begin on March 16th, it was put on hold to ensure that the legal issues were properly addressed. A statement from the Elections Commission said that it had considered the signed agreement between the President and the opposition leader, witnessed by the CARICOM Secretary General. While it had implemented systems for the recounting exercise, GCOM said as a safeguard mechanism, it was addressing the legal issues, including the gazetting of the process, as requested by the CARICOM high-level delegation.
The CARICOM chair had led a prime ministerial team to Guyana from the 11th to the 12th of March amid heightened tensions and concerns about the fairness and transparency of the electoral process. Dominica's Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, Grenada's Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell, St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, and the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley, accompanied Prime Minister Motley to Guyana.
We met with the President and we met with the executive of APNU. We met with the Leader of the Opposition, Barrett Jagdeo, as well as the members and the presidential candidate, Mr. Irfan Ali, and other members of the executive of PPP. We also met with the representatives of the small parties. We met with the election observers. And then again, we met with the President and Mr. Jagdeo very late last night, early into the morning, together in order to be able to chart a process forward.
Prime Minister Motley said CARICOM is committed to working with the people of Guyana for a free, fair, and transparent process.
And we made it clear because there is simply too much at stake for the people of Guyana. Georgetown is the home, the seat of the Caribbean community. Guyana is a founding member of the Caribbean community. And against that background, we are clear that as a community of sovereign nations, we cannot get involved in the internal processes, but we are family. And family does not stand by and watch others in the family suffer without making themselves available to be able to aid the process.
She underscored the critical importance of the Caribbean community to maintain stability from the Bahamas in the north to Barbados in the east.
The visit to Guyana by the chairman and members of the CARICOM Heads of Government Conference coincided with a ruling by Guyana's acting Chief Justice, Roxanne George Wiltshire, on the injunction against the Guyana Elections Commission. The People's Progressive Party Civic had moved to the court to block GCOM from declaring the results of the regional and general elections before the full verification of Electoral District 4. In setting aside the returning officer's declaration for Electoral District 4, the judge called on all political parties to show greater responsibility and respect for each other for the process to conclude. Don't forget, these and other stories are on the CARICOM news site at today.caricom.org or the CARICOM website at caricom.org.
Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time.
CARICOM News Time was brought to you by Dajin Global.
Outsourced finance and accounting service. Growing companies face a challenge. For you to stay focused on building your business, you need solid financial management with a dependable accounting function, a resource you may not have in-house. That's where we come in. Dajin Global provides startups and other businesses with outsourced accounting and finance solutions on a fixed fee basis. No matter what your size or fundraising status, we can tailor our services to fit your needs at every stage of your company's life cycle. Whether you want to add expertise to your existing team or completely outsource your accounting and finance functions, we offer reliable and economical options, including accounting system installations and upgrades, from simple to complex, help establishing preferred banking, legal, payroll, benefits, and HR relationships, paperless online bill payment and bookkeeping, financial reporting and advice for management and investors, financial statement audit management, sales tax compliance. Our team can help you make smarter, more effective decisions. Let's have a conversation. Contact us at email info@dajin.global, website https://dajin.global.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Cameo takes you behind the scenes of Jamaica's exploding creative industries to give you an insider's look at how creatives get the job done.
I'm really picky about how we treat our customers.
As creative people,
We went a little bit over the top.
Each week, we interview innovators leading the charge in their industry.
The chaos of creativity meets the stricture of structure on Business Access TV's Cameo.
I'm Jean Laurichin, and I'm the Executive Director of ProCom, ProDev, and CCRP. BATV had heard about our outreach arm, which is a Caribbean community of retired persons. I think BATV is having a very positive impact. And as a result of that excellent feature, we got more members. So clearly people are watching BATV. I always say to my clients, you should have a 360-degree campaign. Do not limit yourself to one media house. And especially those who are in business, I think it's very important to include BATV in their portfolio.
Your business matters. Promote it on Business Access TV.
The Jamaica Stock Exchange wishes to help to develop the social sector. To that end, they have formed the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, which is a safe, efficient, and transparent platform that aims to promote social projects that build Jamaica and will inure to the benefit of all persons living in the country.
The Jamaica Stock Exchange is a company that encourages and mobilizes capital for the main market. And that is the market that is not the social sector. Now, the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange is really geared towards the social sector to help to solve social problems in the field of health, education, about children, environment. Those are some of the things that we consider social problems. And so it is to mobilize the capital, allow persons who have a desire to invest in a social good, to invest in the social stock exchange. It is designed in two parts. In phase one, where we look at social investment, and phase two, where we look at social impact investment. Now, in phase one, really what we are saying is it is donation. An organization will have a social issue and design it into a project or a program and invite Jamaicans or persons within the diaspora or the entire world to fund this program. Now in phase two, you're going to get a return on investment which is not social. You will be getting shares, natural shares, as you would get if you invested in the Jamaica Stock Exchange. And what you'll get is a return on capital, which is possibly dividend or an appreciation in that share. The Jamaica Social Stock Exchange does more than ask for the funding of these programs, but goes beyond that in terms of monitoring, ensuring that these programs are meeting the targets and the reason for them to have asked for funding in the first place. When we look at this new sector, it is important because holistically, if you do not look on the social sector, you do not improve the other sectors. We want to encourage all businesses in Jamaica to have a corporate social responsibility because it is good for encouraging and the growth and development of businesses.
In this 1 degree, you're able to do many things.
I think the field found me.
I'd rather work with the deceased than work with the living.
Let us open your mind to careers you've never considered.
Miniature model maker.
Game technician.
Animator.
Good job. Empowerment.
Career moves.
Anywhere money is, that's where I am.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Hi, my name is Diane Plummer and I'm the Managing Director for Your True Shade. So the program that I participated in was Creating Wealth, and it would give viewers an idea of the different processes in Your True Shade, taking the products from the raw materials to the production and then finally to the consumer. Being on Business Access TV has definitely impacted my business because since the feature was aired, I got a lot of calls asking about the products, where they can get products, and asking additional information as well. Another thing that I did was to actually link the video to my social media posts so that persons can actually learn more about the brand. So for persons considering BATV, I would definitely recommend it because you will definitely see the payoff for it. Persons will definitely be interested in finding out more about you as well as your brand.
The Good Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
Dodge & Global offers a CPA scholarship program to team members who join our team. A career in accountancy at Dodge & Global is a great choice and can offer you excellent job prospects. We believe that an accounting education is the greatest gift you can give yourself or anyone else. Few gifts make as significant an impact as the gift of an accountancy education with a job. It's a contribution that lasts a lifetime in the form of learning, opportunity, and success. Join our team and get the opportunity to be part of our CPA scholarship program. This scholarships awards program will be administered by the HR department of Dodge & Global. Requirement: first degree in accounting. Employed at Dodge & Global. Willing to pursue the CPA examination. Here's how to apply. Submit application to Staff Accountant, Dodge & Global. Email sa@dodgen.com.
So Business Access TV has impacted my business pretty much, in the obvious ways. Everywhere I go, people would stop me. Are you the girl that was on Business Access TV? I love your work is amazing. Of course, business-wise, orders came in through the interview. It's an ancient Japanese technique. The interview was great because I was able to explain my process and people really understood it. The impact of you doing an interview and showcasing it on Business Access TV is priceless. There's no dollar value for that. What is there to lose? You have everything to gain. It's been an amazing experience for me, and it will be for you.
Your business matters. Promote it on Business Access TV.
I am Jackie Tyson, and you're watching Business Access TV. Serious about business.
It goes by many names: marijuana, ganja, cannabis, or kush, just to name a few. But whatever you call it, people will immediately know what plant you speak of. The Good Life this week takes you to the Stepping High Ganja Festival in Negril.
You know that Jamaica have a very long history of ganja, long before what people actually popularized today. For example, people argue that ganja came across with Indians and came over as indentured laborers, see? So hence the word of indica and ganja from river Ganges. However, ganja has always been here, so you have to use a different kind of lens. Meaning now, if you review work by like Van Sertima, they came before Columbus. People always coming to the Caribbean long before Columbus, and Jamaica was always a central space. That is a very important navigational space today. And from pirate time, it was also a very important navigational space. That's why we have the first navigational school in Jamaica by the Caribbean Maritime Institute. Now, what's the point I'm making there? The point I'm making is because ganja was such a trading thing across the world. Across the world. And however, it became more recognizable and popular when people started to come here as enslaved persons and also as indentured laborers, because both of those persons were actually using the plant. So there's always an integration with herb and agriculture. But over time, as they start to make herb become more criminal, which means that the state started to lock up people more than the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, you know, the whole thing, it kind of shifts. You know, so you find out that while we were still planting herb, we know if we have practiced some integrated farming, not because we just know that integrated farming is what you should do. We have the integrated farming for hide the herb. So I would have plant herb and I plant gungo peas or I plant okra on it, because if you look from overhead and the herb, that the gungo peas and the okra, it don't look so obvious. No, the ganja farmer is the only man in Jamaica who was practicing those things, you know. By what? Out of necessity. So as Rastafari start to use more herb, you have more fight taking place against the herb. So it is a thing where the history has been whereby the farmer structure is anti-herb, not because they're anti-plant, but because they're anti-mindset. But because Rastafari use a lot of herb now, and herb stimulate certain parts of your brain, and people know that your body is designed with what we call an endocannabinoid system, you know, from the head to your toe. And the parts of your body that have the most of those receptors is what your liver and your brain, especially when part of the rhinoceros and the ancient part of your brain and the central part of your brain as well, the part that deal with this feel-good, esoteric kind of vibes and things, you know what I mean? And that is what drives and supports a lot of the way Rastafari people think. Hence the concept of being airy and the concept of being of one love and being with nature and all those things. It's not the Rasta people alone. The same ancient Indian people who use herb, they don't do the same thing. The people who are Essenes, from which them say Yahushua come from, is the Jesus story. Them are herb people. So them say them anoint him head with oil. Him seventh chakra, him crown chakra, is herb them use, in that olive oil them use, is ganja oil them use. See? All these stories that people hear, ganja oil is a very important part of those processes for health and wellness and healing. So it's like it's just something where Rasta people come up with, like you have what you call a Columbus syndrome, you discover things that already exist. No. The thing is that the Rastafari, we are way into this consciousness of this plant and uses it. And then using it also away in other people. It's like you unlock your chakras or your DNA, so people start to remember these things and start to use the plant and actually feel a particular way about it. One of the first functions of ganja is to build your immune system against ultraviolet rays. So it means then that ganja is one of the plants that you use to do what? Prevent most of the cancers, if not all of the cancers. So all the research has shown that ganja is good for cancer fighting its functions, such as THC. And they ask yourself, what is the leading killer of people in the world today? It's stress. Herb is a plant, THC in particular, it removes stress. It transforms energy from one negative way into the next positive. That's what it's about. It's not no new energy. You shift, you focus, and start to see things in a very different kind of way. So you don't see no problem, you know. You see, needs that are unsolved, which means that there are opportunities to solve those needs by doing what? Providing a good service. So the lens through which you see things becomes different. And unfortunately, within our own system, we have this big opportunity. But the lens through which we see it is the same old colonial lens. CDB is used to treat things that do with psychosis. That research came out of England. Yes? That's why there's a great demand for CDB herb in Europe, because the leading killer of people in Europe and America is now what? Dementia-related illnesses. Parkinson's, Alzheimer's. That's M1 CDB and not THC. You have CBN, which is to stimulate appetite. So people who have cancers and all of these other issues and eating disorders will want the CBN. But it's also good for all the olfactory senses, you know. Ears, nose, and throat. So everything you do with your lung, everything you do with your ears, everything in the nose and your throat, because it what? It opens up a thing. The plant itself, in terms of the seed, have two of the most important fatty acids for your brain, which is called linoleic and linoleic, in the 1-to-3 ratio, the exact ratio in your brain. The only other plant that comes close to that is linseed, which has now 1-to-4 ratio. Most of these problems that people have, the plant is good for it. Ask them which other plant your body is designed to use. Just ask them, which other plant your body developed a system, say 50 million years ago, all beings on the earth develop an endocannabinoid system. Not man alone. Dog, puss, rat, bird, everything. You understand what I'm saying? So we have to really see what the research is saying. What the research is saying. It's good for everything. But you know, you don't ready to own people's brain, you know. Especially people, them are going to say I'm mad people like Rasta. Or the Rasta by say, okay, herb is the healing of the nation, and herb is this. Or Tosh sing about it as a bush doctor and say, boy, it's good for this, and lawyers smoke it. Remember too, you know. Many places people use herb, and we don't just use ganja. We use different kind of herb. And this is part of the problem, because when them started to fight ganja, technically them started to fight every kind of natural consumption of other herbs as well. So a man have a headache, I don't want no rosemary, I don't want no almond leaf, because it's herbs, and you have to know how much you have to take and suppose it poison you, and you must take a Fensic, you know. And then give everybody the same prescription, 2 Fensic, but yes, all their structure different. So the same 2 Fensic for solve every problem for everybody. You have something in your stomach that want to clear out, you don't take no verbal, no dark blood. You can take a leave, and then them announce by the TV, them have a call him back a leave, catch a killer, beer people are foreign. Foolishness.
Don't go anywhere. The Good Life will be right back. Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Welcome back to The Good Life, where we are exploring the benefits of ganja with Dr. Kadamawe Knife. He shares his knowledge based on extensive research on the plant and some of his opinions on Jamaica's response to the growing worldwide use of ganja.
We now learn that there's a high demand for CBD plants in the world, which is in the Euro-American world. And what we know is that we're focusing so much on that technically we start to make the part that we have the advantage in almost criminal. If you have a lot of Parkinson's and Alzheimer's in Europe, they want CDB in the herb. Now, if you understand the ganja plant, CDB is naturally, it don't occur in plants in a naturally high amount, you know. But it's still an amount that can treat some of those things. What they're doing now is to take the plant into the lab to create a plant that has high levels of CDB and low levels of THC. It is the first concern that we have with those kind of herbs and things. Nonetheless, I am saying if the plant itself can produce pharmaceutical products that can treat those things, well, they can do it. However, know that they must make concurrently. But the thing that naturally happen in the country, but the thing that you try to promote. Jamaica is known internationally for what? Pharmaceuticals? No. We're known internationally for being a wellness space. So, if you ask a man, tell me some Jamaican words. All of the words relate to feeling good about yourself. Some man are going to say irie, you might say love. You must say all of these things because the country is known for wellness. And we'll see where it comes from. See, if you listen to Ed Bartlett test, when they do the assessment of what words trigger people to come to Jamaica. Love, food, and music. I'm cancer ganja tree, my minister. So we're not using that opportunity, and so we have a win-win scenario where everybody can benefit, whether you are a foreign direct investor or a local person. See, at a macro or a micro level, we turn it to what we call a zero-sum game, which means that if some people are going to win, like the pharmaceutical people, it means that the people who do the things organically going to lose. And that don't make no sense.
When it's green, you squeeze the juice from it, it's the best for eye. It's kill all cataract and everything.
Now, I argue that we need to standardize and regularize. It is much, much more difficult to standardize and regularize things for the pharmaceutical industry than it is for the food industry. And SRC and the Bureau of Standards are some master industries, some master institutions that can help us to standardize these things. See? So when we hear them argue about edibles, I know edibles is this and edibles is that. It shows you how almost backward the people can be. THC is amplified by heat. So therefore, if you cook herb, it magnifies the amount of THC that's within that thing that you eat. So what does that mean? Does that mean that there's a problem in using herb in the plant, in the food? No. It means then we can get a lot more from the same herb than we actually do now. When I say shift focus, when I say broaden your focus and don't be myopic in what you're doing. Don't be a copybugger. And the bigger part of the industry is the wellness part, it's not the pharmaceutical part. That is how we talk about functional food. We're not talking about nutraceuticals alone. Because they still want to make nutraceuticals sound like it's pharmaceuticals. It's like nutraceuticals is taking the active out of a plant, whether it be ganja, ginger, whatever. Functional food is using the actives in things for consumption. Which means then, I can make, and I like to use this example, I can make a chocolate from Highgate, which is a nice brand chocolate, and infuse it with something like a CBN, which is an active in ganja plant. See? Or THC, CBN because it stimulates appetite. So I target people who know they need to eat food but want something nice to take to eat food. People who have AIDS and cancer and anorexia. So you want to eat that chocolate because it really tastes good, but when you eat it now, that makes you want to eat other food as well. So as again, you have to take a regular tablet. Or use THC with things like rosemary and almond leaf as what? Just as people buy St. John's wort to reduce stress. We use it that way there. Remove all of your stress. You can put it in anything. I can use the same starting from the ganja plant and make incense and create incense. And what is the beauty about this? You can do this at all 3 levels. It's the only plant you can do it at 3 levels now. And Jamaica, you can do it at the community level in terms of branding, the parish level, as well as the national level. Because if you understand ganja in Jamaica, people argue that Sunny Hill in St. Thomas is a place that plant good herb. But a man takes a Green Hill and Orange Hill plant good herb. A man takes a Bull Savannah plant good herb. Or Lucky Valley in St. Andrew plant good herb. Or the best herb usually planted in St. Andrew in the 1980s. So what I tell you? At different points in time, people say the best herb plant in different places in Jamaica, which means that the best herb plant in Jamaica, there's a people that think we can plant the best herb anywhere in Jamaica. Now, can you imagine the amount of branding that you can take, that you can use across the island? You have to realize what opportunities are. I'm not fighting a pharmaceutical now, but I tell you, look at what we can do with branding. Man is the only animal you cook food and eat. Rastafari is free meditation. Every man have a right to decide their own destiny, man. The person who you can tell how to live is yourself. See? So I say, I don't want no food by the fire. Some don't do it. Rastafari says life. And so we find out when you put fire upon the food, you take out some of the life out of it. So you want to get the full life by food, eat it without putting fire upon it. But you still can't tell a man how to live, you know. So I'm going to tell you what you know, you stop eating cook food. You still have to work, and the ganja seed is one of the best things to eat. So with I know, it's sativa herb I promote. 6 to 9 months, ital herbs. See, I'm going to take it serious because remember, the whole of my apple designed to use herb, you know. So it means that you must put the best thing inside your system. So a long time herb, the rest of the plant is the best herb to use. All these things that man them come up with, no, it's just like some of the food now. See, so a long time people usually eat free-range chicken. We take long and put a nail in the pot themselves to cook him. You don't want that now, you want a chicken, which is a baby chicken. We take 6 weeks, I end up with arsenic and all kinds of things, give people fibroids. They send me the herb. Them don't want a 6 to 9 month herb, so they start grow some short day herb, some short breed herb. 8 weeks. Where the man have to alter the seed to increase the amount of THC. Why? Because THC is stimulated by sunlight. So the longer the exposure of the plant in the sunlight is the more THC. So if you want to get the same amount of THC in a shorter period of time, you have to do? Change the structure of the plant. So indica is not the area plant to use, as far as I'm concerned. If you understand plant science, plants work in a holistic way. When you start to take and separate plants, it becomes less effective. When you steam the herb now, it goes into your lung directly, which means then, when your blood is passing through that vein, that it passes through your lung and it's being oxygenated, it takes up the herb immediately. So it's the fastest way of getting herb inside your system, you know. It's not an injection, because when you get an injection, it don't go in your vein directly, you know. It goes on the skin and try to find its way into your vein. So the most effective way of getting herb into your system quickly, and another way that is at the least amount of carbon, as far as I'm concerned, is through steaming. But the argument about smoking herb can kill a problem. No man, that's just something which is just false information. THC actually builds back the wall of your lung and repair the wall of your lung. So the concern about smoking can't that you're going to get sick from smoking herb. Just that the concern you say, okay, you don't want to put no more carbon inside of your system, which you don't need to. And so I ask people if you smoke a spliff every day, see? And how much spliff a day you smoke? I'm going to say 2 spliff or 3 spliff a day. But that's 365 times 2. That's almost 700 piece of paper you smoke for the year. So you really don't need to be smoking no paper. But you know some people make hemp, Rizla. So all those things are there. Now, some people say the carbon might be the concern. My other concern about smoking is that it is not economical. Because when you go to light a spliff or light a chalice, most of the herb gone in the ear and less gone inside of you. So we don't smoke no herb, we just steam the herb. See, and it's not no magic we are doing, you know. A long time people do that, man. It's like when you bake pudding and put the fire up on top of it. See? So you have something that separates the fire from the herb. And when you pull it, the heat from it passes through the herb. It cools down the water and condenses. It's aromatherapy. I can use it with any plant you want. Now, that is more efficient. There's almost 0 carbon because anything that comes through is captured in the water. This is what a long time bingy man them usually, you know. Now, when you eat herb, it goes on your digestive system and takes a longer time to start to break down, but it stays longer in your system now. Okay, it starts to release more slowly. That's why when people cook herb and it's in your gut for a long while, it release slowly, so you feel that kind of feeling for a much longer period of time. You know, say a man who smoke herb don't like smoke herb in a public space. Him like going in a space, him have him create him own space. And naturally we know that. We don't want no cigarette smoking, we don't want no jerk pan smoking, we don't want no car smoking, and we don't want no herb smoking in no public space. Because people respond different to those things and things still, see? So, we don't want no designated smoking area either. Yeah, we don't want that. Because the attempt says that, say, if you think that smoking is bad, why you designate place for them to smoke? You've been a hypocrite. Go find somewhere by yourself. Go smoke if you want. Don't create a nuisance for people. And things to you. See how in a private space you do what you want to do.
Don't go anywhere. The Good Life will be right back. Cameo takes you behind the scenes of Jamaica's exploding creative industries to give you an insider's look at how creatives get the job done.
I'm really picky about how we treat our customers.
As creative people, we went a little bit over the top.
Each week, we interview innovators leading the charge in their industry. The chaos of creativity meets the stricture of structure on Business Access TV's Cameo. Welcome back to The Good Life. We wrap things up with Dr. Kadamawe Knife as he shares his concerns with the current state of the industry and gives his final thoughts on what he believes could promote and grow the industry in Jamaica and by extension, the Caribbean.
I will argue that imported bad food and lifestyle practices kill more people in Jamaica than gunshot. Less than 3,000 people dead last year from gunshot. And in 2016, more than 15,000 people dead from diabetes alone. 15,000 people, I mean, not talk high blood pressure and heart disease yet. I mean, there's no big strategy as to how we are going to halt that. But do appreciate some years, some of the things I say, boy, drink more water and less sugar, because way. So I see them talk some things. But I say, you saw there was a big strategy to fight crime and lack of people. But there's no big strategy now to fight down the crime and now we are killing people, which is through food. Now the point we're making though is that if we start to do ganja as agriculture and use it as a catalyst, we start get people starting with ganja, with health and wellness and agriculture that kind of way, you start to address not only economic issues, but health issues as well. Because if you are plant food and plant clean food, the people must get less sick. Must. We should say, okay, our focus on building out what we have, which is and them disrespectful, but I call it recreational. We have the wellness part of the industry, the ganja industry. And we're going to expand it to facilitate the pharmaceutical component. So those who want to do the pharmaceuticals can do it, but we are going to focus our money and energy on the wellness component. So you're trying to take a lead in an area that you can't lead in, while neglecting the area that you already lead in. I'm telling you, any guy who come to this space will have a strong righteous or bonus spliff. Righteous with the same cool breeze we are distributing interview with. It's a one of the best experience. So bonus spliff and then go buy food from the people might eat. I tell you, I'm going to tell him grandparents about that story. You know. Say about telling grandparents to take a ganja tablet. That's just a story. There's medication they're taking, man. Enough name out there here. Them like to categorize them as skunk and kush. We have about 20 different skunk names or 20 different kush names. What we want to grow is a particular strain of herb, which is a sativa. So you have the broad categories of sativa and indica. We are promoting sativa herb, the 6 to 9 months herb. Ital, that means you don't put anything that come from animal, it's plant alone grow it. That's how to promote it. See? Now, Jamaica have things like them called goat shit and lamb's bread and all different kind of herbs that are sativa herb as well, thyme herb. But those were destroyed. The same thing. Some seeds still exist, so we focus on getting those seeds. Now, nowadays, you have all kind of skunk herb because the license itself is prohibitive and shows that them don't really understand what they want to move. Because the licensing process is required because they're doing what? Pharmaceutical ganja. I've been doing pharmaceutical ganja because of the regulations for production. You have to get all of these things in place. So that is for one section of the economy. Now the part that we're speaking about the wellness doesn't require those things. So we'll argue. There's how we have a man with a bar who says that he might get the license at whatever. The same thing I do with the herb people who are involved in these kind of things at the community level. But I think it's important to regularize it. Someone, the man within the community knows him have the best herbs I sell. I put them jar and him, you know, make it iron and official. But why like it's a hide thing at and then it's a hustling. No. Make people know it's free for do it so you can do it properly, man. Because you know Jamaican people like to present them thing properly to you know. So don't make it look like it's a gym screechy thing. Give them the same kind of freedom. But say what you know, you have to have them standard there, you know. You can't sell the herb in a plastic bag because the herb eat up in the plastic bag, put in a glass jars. And put in a dark glass jar because it make the herb stay long and you know, show them how to do it properly and thing. Now when you check it now, 10,000 for a distribution of what? 10,000 US, you know, not 10,000 Jamaican. The prices are not even quoted in Jamaica, they're quoted in US, so it's can't be your target. So there's a different kind of thinking surrounding that component. And that's what I'm talking about the dual space. You have to have your pharmaceutical space, you put those restrictions here. But the wellness part that relates to Jamaica, you don't put those restrictions, but you put standards and quality control. So who knows if you have an edible, we know say the Bureau of Standard passes and SRC help you the formulation for you know say alright you have the right amount of things inside there. Get rather the strength now for coming through the marketing and them home economics thing, for come show them how to do the thing using the standards. You know? Make it happen properly. Herb, like we call high altitude and long exposure to sunlight. Jamaica, we have 10 hours of sunlight, we have high altitude with a volcanic space. Remember, so because we're volcanic, that means they have a lot more minerals in our earth than places that are not volcanic. When you have volcano, we do carry precious minerals from the core come up to the surface. So it's just good earth we have now. We have enough gold and diamond in Jamaica, enough crystals because we're volcanic. It means then that because we have the high altitude and long exposure, our ganja, once it is exposed to the sun, it's going to be much, much better. But across the Caribbean, while they might not be like Jamaica, but you have places that can do similar things. St. Lucia, which is mountainous. Dominica, which is mountainous. Haiti, which was mountainous, would have been good places to plant. Perfect highs of THC. Montserrat might be good to plant. Definitely good to plant herb with high THC because it's also mountainous and also have good exposure to sunlight. Barbados, Cayman, Antigua, which are flat places, might be better to actually plant herb to get seed as food or forget fiber. Now they could have plant hemp though, you know. You know what I mean? Because them flats of them THC level not gonna be too high. A place like Guyana, Belize, Suriname can look at planting the industrial plant which is hemp. So the mountainous places plant the female and the flat places plant the semi-male female and the mainland places plant the male which is the hemp. So the region itself can control the entire value chain of the industry from both male and female. The Caribbean. Well, remember that Jamaica is in the Caribbean, because Jamaica is the only real Caribbean country. You know? We know the center of the Caribbean is a certain level of magnetism in the earth, and the earth is electrical and magnetic, it's bioelectrical and magnetic. So you can't underplay the importance of those magnetic currents that surround the earth with all those things happening and things still. So you see that I'm not on ganja alone, I mean all our food. The food levels, the taste, it's like it accentuates. And you know, the research that after show that Jamaica have higher levels of heavy metal in them earth though, which was a concern. But we realized that when you put in the water, the heavy metal dissipates. This is not a problem anymore. So remember, this is a good life now. It's important for people know that you only have one life to live. See? So you have to live healthy. Do you think that you know is right? Be serious about it, man. Live well and live the good life, you know?
In this 1 degree, you're able to do many things.
I think the field found me.
I'd rather work with the deceased than work with the living.
Let us open your mind to careers you've never considered.
Miniature model maker. Game technician.
Animator.
Empowerment.
Career moves.
Anywhere money is, that's where I am.
My name is Herbert Chung, Executive Chairman, Co-Founder, Honeybun 1982 Limited. You're watching Business Access TV. Serious about business.
It was after the invention of the telephone that Canadian inventor Reginald Fessenden in 1900 set out to find a way to remotely communicate without using wires. In that same year, he recorded the first voiceover, a test reporting the weather. As technology improved, the art of doing voiceovers or providing voices to represent a character or to provide information to an audience became more routine in radio and television. Today, it's possible to offer voiceovers and earn from that skill via the internet. This week on Career Moves, we highlight this emerging cyber profession and disclose how easy it is for anyone to learn and take advantage.
Hi, my name is Alicia Little, and I'm the CEO of Internet Income Jamaica. Internet Income Jamaica is a training company where we teach people how to really use the power of the internet to make money online. I was invited in by a man named Paul Bryant, who was doing Jamaica's first ever internet marketing summit. So I came as a speaker, and then Paul invited myself and my sister to come back and to teach. And our teaching got so popular, and it was so needed in Jamaica that we kept coming back. We did our events at UE, we did our events in conjunction with UTech. And then there was such a demand for it that we said, all right, we're moving to Jamaica, we're opening up our office, and we're gonna teach this as often as we can. And so in 2013, we officially registered a company, we moved to Jamaica, opened an office, and we do trainings at least once a month now. The sites that we put you on to work online, one is called Fiverr.com and the other is called Upwork.com. And you take your skills and you put it on the site. So it's really an opportunity where you can take your skill set, put it online, and get customers from a global economy. It's like you're going global now instead of just keeping your skills local. And the skills that you can put online could be skills you currently have. So if you say you're an expert, and you can prove it by delivering quality work, then you can build your business online. So it's hard to find jobs. It's hard to find other opportunities. Sometimes we need a side hustle to make additional money. So it's really beneficial for people to say, you know what, I can take my skills, I can learn new skills, and I can earn money outside of Jamaica without having to migrate. I don't have to go anywhere but open my laptop, go to my desk and open my laptop, right?
Over the years, Internet Income Jamaica has managed to find skills that are easy enough to do and are needed everywhere and offer them as part of their training package. Here are a few of those skills.
Website development will always be in demand. It's growing. Being a virtual assistant, which is basically an administrative assistant but working online, growing exponentially. And also doing voiceover, which I love, right? So reading scripts, doing radio commercials, podcast commercials, whatever it is, and offering that service online. So I always tell people, if you have a voice, you can make money from it. And the great thing about the Jamaican accent, as we all know, it's loved all over the world, right? So people are always looking for someone with a Jamaican accent to do voiceover for them. So, we have quite a few students here in Jamaica and across the world, I will say, that do voiceover as their offer that they put online, and they do extremely well. If you pay attention, and you'll start to pay attention now more that we're talking about it, if you pay attention to voicemail greetings, radio commercials, TV commercials, what you watch on TV, you will see that voiceover, which is basically someone reading a script and using their voice, is all over the place. When you start to pay attention, you'll be like, that's a voiceover, that's a voiceover. You're hearing it all over the place. There has to be someone doing those voiceovers, and why not you? So the business or the career of being a voice actor, right, or being a voiceover specialist is really growing, and it's really in high demand, and it's fairly easy to do.
So are there any prerequisites to apply to get training at Internet Income Jamaica? And what exactly do I need to become a voice actor?
So a lot of people think that, to offer your career online, you have to have certificates or a special degree, but that's not true. If you say you're an expert, in today's world, people don't look so much for certificates and degrees. They're looking for, do you have what I want? Yes, do you have what I want? So as a voice actor, you don't have to get a special certificate from, I don't even know where you would go to get one, right? You just have to prove, you just have to practice and prove, give a portfolio, show that you can do the work. So read a script, record yourself, have a good microphone, understand software that you need to use, and really put it out there. And when people see that, that's all you need as far as do you qualify for the work or not, right? Nobody's going to be looking really to see if you have any special, did you get a master's degree in voiceover? No. It's about what skills do you have, what talents do you have, how do you present yourself, and is that what I need? That's what the business is going to say. Is your voice what I need? If you come to us and you say, look, I want to make money with my voice, I want to make an extra $1,000, $2,000 US a month with my voice, I would tell you that you need a computer, an internet connection, a microphone, which you can get later, and that you should come to our class. Because in our class, what we do is we teach you really the skills that you need and the software that you need, and we give you the software in class in order to really master it, because it's not that hard. You're gonna take a script, read it into your computer, edit it, maybe add music, like background music to it, and send it off to the client. But sometimes people can get stuck in, well, how exactly do I do that? So we show you step by step how to do it, because we found that a lot of times as I'm saying to you, look, go on to Fiverr.com, put your portfolio up, put up an offer that says you do voiceover, but sometimes you need to spend time with the experts to really learn how to do it. So we find that when people come and they sit through a class and they get the knowledge that they need, they're off and running, they're good to go. So we always tell people, if you can figure it out yourself, fine. We're telling people all over, try it, go to Fiverr, try it. If you get stuck or if you just really want the shortcut and know how to do it, then come to our class where our trainers will really dig in with you and teach you how to do it. Prices range between $10,000 and $15,000, depends on if you register early. So our early birds are always about $10,000, $10,500. And when you pay that fee to come to class, you're in class with our trainers, you do all the work in class, and then what happens is after class is over, we have a Facebook group. Everybody's put into this Facebook group where they work with each other for the rest of their lives. So what we make sure happens is that when you come to class, that's just the beginning of your education and training. Our Facebook group, you have continued support. One thing that you'll notice in our Facebook group is that a lot of our students have too much work, so they'll outsource the work to other newer students. So someone will say, I have a voiceover that needs to be done, or I have 10 that need to be done, who can do it? So other than the $10,500 you're gonna pay to come to class, we don't charge you anything else. You get free lifetime support, we'll help you. You can call our office, message us on Facebook. That's where we do all of our support. And we don't charge anything extra. When you work online, the money's yours. We don't take any piece of it, nothing. We're an educational center. We're a training center. We want to train you how to make money on the internet. We teach you in a class, we support you. A lot of people always ask that, well, what percentage of our earnings do you get? And we're like, we don't take a percentage of your earnings. That's not what we're about. We're about pushing you to make money on the internet and celebrating your success. We have our classes once a month on average. Usually it depends on my travel schedule because I do teach this all over the world as well. So when our schedule is free, we schedule the events to be here in Jamaica when I'm here. So we do it on average once a month. You really have to go to our website, which is internetincomejamaica.com, or call our office to find out when our next classes are, because it's not like it's the first weekend of every month. It's the weekend when Alicia is not speaking somewhere else or teaching this somewhere else, because myself and all of our trainers, we try to get this message out to the world.
In terms of compensation, Alicia says it all depends on how much time one commits to working through the internet.
We see students make an average of 100 extra US dollars a month, all the way up to thousands of extra dollars a month. Our trainer and one of our students, Curtis, who you'll talk to and hear from as well, I'll let him tell you how much he's made, but he's almost made 3,000 US dollars in half a month. The thing that I love about this, absolutely love, is that you're earning in US dollars. So I'm a big fan of saying, look, earn in a currency that's higher than the currency you're gonna spend it in, right?
Coming up,
I've always been interested in acting in general. My interest in voice acting developed once I went to the Internet Income Boot Camp.
Internal audit. Internal audit service is vital when organizations aim to achieve reliable financial reports and regulatory compliance, navigating risks, streamlining operations, and promoting stakeholder confidence. The benefits of a high-quality internal audit are limitless, especially when you secure yours from a firm with deep industry experience, exposure to hundreds of organizations, dedicated professionals, and proven methodologies. Whether you're looking to establish an internal audit function, attain or maintain compliance with various regulations, mitigate your risk of fraud, or gain an overall assessment of your internal controls, you can count on Dodge & Global for reliable and timely business solutions. We've helped organizations nationwide and across industries to establish internal control structures, create an internal audit function, or improve an existing one, and maintain regulatory compliance. We provide ongoing education as regulations and public perceptions change. We are trusted advisors for management and boards. External auditors can be confident in our work and its results. Let Dodge & Global be a turnkey solution for your organization. Our team can help you make smarter, more effective decisions. Let's have a conversation. Contact us at email info@dodgen.global. Website https://dodgen.global.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Meet Curtis Brown, a voice actor whose desperate attempts to make an honest income led him to find the answer in the talent he already possessed.
I am Curtis Brown, more popularly known as Curtis AAAA, voice actor, recording artist, and songwriter.
With a baby on the way and no stable income, Curtis was invited to an internet income workshop, which he said taught him how to become a millionaire in 3 days.
I went to Mavisville Prep, then I migrated and went to Samuel Gompers Vocational High School. I wanted to be a visual artist and architect. However, for some reason I didn't make it into the visual arts high school, which I wasn't really interested. I didn't even finish high school. I didn't go to college. Actually, while I was finishing high school, I had an unfortunate incident where I was attacked by a gang and I defended myself. In return, 2 people got hurt out of that 15 that attacked me. They turned around and pressed charges against me. I was deported to Jamaica at the age of 19. Now, my friends always look at me and tell me that most people who get deported, they're either selling oranges or mangoes or they turn into crime. Every day I hear it about the crime and the negative impact that deportees have on the country. There was a point where thinking about making $10,000 for the month almost seemed impossible because I'm walking for miles all over, walking out shoes, skinny down to my bones, and I claim that I'm a voice artist and a songwriter. And you know, so everybody in Jamaica is an artist. So everything is ha ha ha. And even at that time, I was a rapper in the beginning. So it's even more ha 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 ha. So everybody laugh after me. Everybody say, yo, the youth, they're idiot. Youth, they're not going away. Youth, then just a wasting time. I've always been interested in acting in general. My interest in voice acting developed once I went to the Internet Income Boot Camp and started working on Fiverr. That's when I really developed my voice acting career. A voice actor working from home need to have a voice. Pretty much that's the main thing. You don't have to have such a wonderful voice. The beauty about being a voice actor is every voice is different and everyone has their own unique voice. So every voice has a place. I don't know if you ever watched the movie Happy Feet, I think, the movie with the penguins. My son watches it all the time. You have everybody else singing and you have that one penguin that taps his feet. You can actually tap your feet, or I've gotten jobs to make music with my mouth and compose a whole instrumental. So there's no bad voice. You need a microphone. I have a very inexpensive microphone here. You can even use one of those headsets and one of those little computer mics. And so you pretty much need a voice and something to record your voice. You can use a laptop. Most laptops have microphones in them. So that's all you need to get started. As you progress and as your income grows, you can invest in your business, because anybody who is sensible, once you have a business and it's pulling in a good income, then you're going to want to invest, buy better equipment, compete with people who are better and keep moving up. There's two sides to the business. There's a traditional voice acting business where you would get up, you would go to auditions, you'd audition probably 100 gigs and you probably get 1 or 2, but it's a lot different from me. I don't have to do any auditions because I'm on a website that directs traffic to me. When the clients come in, they see my profile, they see what I'm capable of doing. I have my work on display. I have a sample on display where I'm already singing a song. So they pretty much, most of the messages that I get, they are, hey, I love your voice, I'd love to work with you, you're amazing. So there's not much for me to do after that. After that, I pretty much just do whatever they request. It's just as simple as that. So if they ask me to sing a line, I just go right along, I sit down, I sing the line. It's that simple. Sometimes I will ask them for a sample, for them to send me an audio of what they would like it to sound like, and then I'd pretty much reenact that. Oh, I think that I found someone to sing my song. Curtis Brown will be there when you need him. A day for me, I wake up at maybe 12 p.m. I'm just kidding. I don't wake up at 12 p.m. I wake up at probably 5:30. I go, I take a jog. I come back from my run, I check my phone, and I would probably have 3 or 4 messages for the morning with requests for gigs, people inquiring about what can I do and the rates for it. I reply to the messages, whichever messages convert into a sales. Later on that day, probably around 4:30, I will go around my computer for about 1 to 3 hours, and that's when I do recording for anywhere between 1 to 3 hours recording a day. So I pretty much work for like 3 hours a day. I've done infomercials for The Gap. I've been requested by major recording artists, Billboard artists as a ghostwriter. I've done ghost artists as a ghost rapper. Me rapping and someone else pretending to be me. I've met Australian producers from New York. I've worked with TV companies. I've worked with clothing brands. I've met people from all walks of life and pretty much every continent on the work. I've worked for people pretty much from every continent. I've done stuff locally where I did the Juicy Beef campaign. So put a smile on your face and get in the mood. Serious Jamaican food and one for St. Mary's. I've done work with the National Drug Abuse Council. Over 40,000 for a less than 30-second commercial. And so that's just one job. And then when it goes over into my personal business online, I can make anywhere from, well now I average 800 US per month. That's just like my regular income. But it's from 800 US to like this month I'm looking at $3,000 so US dollars. So working 3 hours a day. So if anybody thought voice acting is not a viable career, then they need to think again. But that's not really the high point. The highest point of that is, I can't call the exact name, but think the #1 female rapper in the world. I was requested to write a song for her. So that's pretty much the high point of this so far.
Coming up,
you have to keep your work on time. You have to make sure that you're getting excellent reviews. You have to make sure that the word of mouth about your brand and your company is excellent. So you have to always provide high quality work.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
This is Caroline Smith, marketing implementer for Sol Western Caribbean for Shell Lubricants, and you're watching Business Access TV, and they are serious about business.
providing voiceovers through the internet may seem simple, but as Curtis highlights, you'd be an entrepreneur, and to be successful takes the same level of professionalism as any traditional job.
The misconception about this profession is that it's easy. It sounds easy, it is fairly easy, but nothing in life is truly easy. I would say that because it takes discipline, it takes dedication, it takes patience. Not every month might start off the same. In the beginning, in the initial stages, you might not get going right away. I've had people that ask me to help them to get into the business, and I help them to get into the business, and they never get started. Why? Because they go 2 weeks, they go a week searching for work, and they don't get any work after a week or 2 weeks, and they give up. It takes faith. Yeah, you need faith in this business. You can miss deadlines if you're not disciplined, if you're not serious. Maybe if you have to outsource work, which I do have to do sometimes. Sometimes when I outsource work, the work tends to come back late after the deadline. Say for instance, I have to work with a partner on a project. Some people don't understand time and time management and delivering product on time. So you can run into problems in that situation. So you have to be disciplined to know that I am my own boss and I'm in control here. But you also have to know that there is no set income, and that you need to have a sustainable business for months and years to come. And that relies on customer recommendation and customer reviews. So you have to keep your work on time. You have to make sure that you're getting excellent reviews. You have to make sure that the word of mouth about your brand and your company is excellent. So you have to always provide high quality work. That's one thing. When you're working for yourself, some people can say, oh, I could just do this real quick. They're not paying me enough, stuff like that. But it comes down to quality control. You don't have a manager checking the quality of your work. So you have to keep that in mind to make sure that the quality of your work is up to international standards. So if somebody comes to me this month and they get a voice acting gig where I'm doing a cartoon or I'm doing a message for the voicemail and the quality is not there, the work wasn't delivered on time, then the next month they won't be coming back. But not just that, they're going to leave a review. This is the internet. This is a different age of business. People are leaving reviews now. So they're gonna write, this guy's poor, this guy's horrible, this guy handed in my work late, his voice is not good as he said, all this expert that he claims to be, he's not this expert, and that can hurt your business. I actually had one client that gave me a bad review. It wasn't an honest review, and it did affect business for like the following 2 months, because everyone else who came, even though they saw 20 or 30 positive reviews, that one negative review made them think twice, and they use other people. So it took me a while. I had to drop my rates. I had to start over from the beginning, start getting good reviews again until I did damage control and got that bad review out of the view of the reviews.
According to Curtis, his career is growing and should be considered as a very viable career option to job seekers. Here's his advice.
You're vocally in your prime, anywhere between ages 25 to 40, and you can go all the way up to your late 80s if you practice proper vocal hygiene and exercise. You can do it pretty much till you die as long as you have a voice. So that's a long career, and you're not doing rigorously hard labor, so there's not much wear and tear on your body. Once you learn how to take care of your voice, learn how to deal with your voice, your career can last until you die. My whole life, my family has told me, you need a backup plan, you need a backup plan. And I'm like, no, my backup plan is my main plan. And I've always stuck to it. I've never settled, I've never decided that I'm gonna have a backup plan. I had one career, and my one career was entertainment, voice acting, recording artist, songwriting. With voice acting, it's a very, very viable career. My father is one who compared that stuff. My mother, traditionally, now when they see my income, now when they see what I'm doing monthly, they have a whole different outlook and respect for it.